experience, my learnings, my with Dr. Narendra Mehta from Mumbai. Then I come with the test Dr. Rajan Shankaran sir, with Dr. Jayesh, and I've been to Pune, one of my and my mentor also Dr. Rishi Vyas. He's always there with me and mentoring still I'm learning from different mentors and still I'm learning different approaches. But today we are going to talk about homeopathic management for the deep pathological cases. So what do you mean by deep pathological cases and the pathological cases? So deep pathological cases means where there are irreversible disease, like you can say if there is a coma, there is a cancers, there is ascites or the so the pathology which is life threatening, which is dangerous to the person or the patient, and there the condition is about to do or die. We have to prove ourselves as a homeopath. We have to prove ourselves that our medicine, our beautiful science, have that kind of power to get results in this kind of a pathological cases. So when I started my practice and there are a lot of to do, what not to do, which approach needs to follow, which books I can take it from. So there was a lot of difficulties, but step by step, I just go to the mentors. I learn from many stalwarts. I learned from many legends. I understand. Along with that, I started my practice in allopathic hospitals. I was an ICU consultant. I was managing the 70-bedded hospital in Mumbai, and there was a lot of allied cases from the pathological ways. So this is you can say that the allopathy and the homeopathy come together when you understand the diagnosis and the protein, and when you have a medicine from the homeopathy, it will definitely works together. And it's a quite interesting journey for me. I use both the knowledge, allied knowledge and the homeopathic knowledge. So so what next? Okay, so we are going to see the content. So in today's session, we have introduction to acutes along with the pathological cases, then the role of physician while dealing with the pathological cases, then the significance of following the process in pathological. Okay, and we have few cases like cases of ascites, cases of coma, then again the ascites with the lymphatic obstruction, the case of the coma due to pulmonary embolism, then we have case of gangrene or venous ulcer, we have case of burn ulcer, we have case of pleural neuralgia and the herpes zoster. So let's start today. I hope you will enjoy the session and definitely I can reach you. So as a beginner, there was the biggest problem for me how to deal with these cases, how to solve the pathological cases, what is the steps to follow in the pathological cases, which approach or which method I can go with while dealing with the pathological cases. Though I know that there was I have repertory, I have Matra Medica, I know how to go through the case, I know how to take the symptoms, but here I can give more important. How can I manifest the totality? How can I emphasize on symptoms where I can reach exact symptom? And that was the real, dilemma for me. That was the real confusion for me at my beginning. So, but found my mentors, I learned one thing: how to develop yourself. What kind of a quality you must have while dealing with acute or pathological cases. So, my dear friends, this is very important. While dealing with the acute or pathological cases or any kind of a challenging or critical cases, never say no. I just remember the dialogue of that guru. मुझे ना सुनने की आदत नहीं है. So that should be in your in your soul or in your inner song, that मुझे ना बोलने की आदत नहीं है, आने दो, जो भी आता है let's come, I will deal with that. Let's come, कुछ तो निकलेगा ना, कुछ तो रास्ता निकलेगा. Why say no? Yes, always say yes and go with the case. So by dealing with this kind of cases, the first thing you must need to understand, you have to trust on yourself as a person, as a doctor, as a physician. You must need to have trust on yourself, and then you must need to have confidence in yourself. Because once you get confused or you don't have confidence, then फिर होगा कि नहीं होगा, that kind of confusion in the mind. But you must have a trust and take it as an opportunity. ये भगवान ने मेरे पास एक केस भेजा. You take that this is my role and I have to deal with this case and I will definitely give the good results with homeopathy. That's it. Okay. So once the patient come to you, you don't think anything. Just be like a plain-minded. Just be like a blind-minded. Don't prioritize anything. Don't think any rubric. Don't think of any kind of medicine or that. One more thing I would like to mention here: while dealing in the pathological cases, you have to work with the patients. Don't become like hurried or don't go, gadbad kind of a things. Be patient, be quiet, be day in the day. Then the see the patient, then think about what is important, what is not important. So patience is very, very important. Because of patience, you can go only the exact remedy. Because of the patient, you can get the exact, exact modality or a PQRS. Then and then you can go to the exact remedy. One more thing I want to tell you. Even today, I also used to this kind of knowledge, or you can say this kind of method I used to follow. Whenever I used to go for visit any hospital or any ICU or any at anyone's place or any home, before entering to the room, I try to keep myself calm and I try to keep my alert all the senses. Just before entering the room, I try to understand what is happening with the patient. Morning ahead, he's doing activities less, he's doing noise or noise, things, sleeping in calm position. This is what I'm telling you. You must need to alert your senses. You must have that kind of acute senses. So once you can sense the smell, once you can sense the noise of the patient, once you can understand option is what is not, then from there on the treatment. Okay. Another thing we must need to have focus. Okay. So one more thing, that was a real, this is a real thing while dealing in these cases. One thing is important while approaching or while dealing with the pathological cases, there are different approaches we can go through. We have a pathological approach, we have symptomatic approach, we have clinical approach, we have urban specific approach, we have disease specific approach, and we have sensation approach. So mostly I used to try to understand this approach and I go through with this. But my dear friends, while dealing with this kind of cases, we must need to have a one roadmap. Must need to have a systematic totality understanding. One must need to have a steps while they are going through the case. And this is today I'm going to tell you the which steps, which system, what are the your game of plan, what are the your what are the your thinking processes we will need to take steps in. Okay, but among these, if you have like if you have cancer, you can go to the exact cancerous pathology. We can go like example we deal with the cancer of stomach. We can go directly to the rubric cancer stomach, and we can find the other symptoms, and then the clinical understanding, clinical examination, or clinical understanding. If there is a cancer in the liver, we will definitely go to the organ specific cancer of liver, or cancer of spleen, or cancer of prostate. This kind of approaches we can go with this. These are just hint. I am not going to talk here more about these approaches, but I am going to talk you more about how to deal with it. You know, okay, fine. So today we are talking about more about the steps and more about how I think, how I give more importance to these steps. Okay. So today we are talking about these 7 steps about the management of acute, or about the management of pathological seated pathological cases. The one thing I always used to give more importance for the listening and the observation. I try to collect all the factual things which is present in the case. Most of the time, I used to give more importance for the chief complaint. I try to understand exact what is happening with the chief complaint, and along with the chief complaint, is there any kind of a concomitant or associated symptoms? Because this is the only important area where you can get exact rubrics or exact PQRS symptoms. Other than that, what is important? I try to understand why this pathology happens. What is the cause behind happening with this pathology? Is there any kind of a accidental cause, or is there any kind of a prolonged chronic disease like recurrent malaria, or recurrent typhoid? Is there any cause like alcoholism, or is there any kind of a cause of like meningitis, or different causes are there. So I try to understand why this pathology happens. Etiology is very, very important. Though the patient is not going to tell you, patient will talk telling you only about the present complaints, but you must need to go behind that. You must to go before that why this is happening. क्यों हुई ऐसा हुआ है? So go into the depth of the actual pathological cause. Another important thing is about the diagnosis. This is the third point. Diagnosis, investigation, and the clinical examination. Though we are a homeopath, but we must need to go for a clinical examination. Most of the time, patient is to talk something else, and in clinical examination, we get some different, different understanding in the clinical examination. So there is also more important for the diagnosis. So as we know the diagnosis, because sometimes there are cases which get misdiagnosed, and on the clinical symptoms there is something else. So with the diagnosis also we can go to the references with the different material medical or the literatures, and then we can confirm the remedy. The fourth point, which is very important, that is modalities. In any case, okay, my dear friends, in any case, you must need to understand the modality. You will definitely get the modality. And this is the only single and deeper peculiar character symptoms where you will get exact rubric or exact PQRS at local level. And then we can also understand that local level symptom or the local level sensation is similar to the mental health, or it can be general symptom. Okay, so try to understand the modality. At least this 4 point is very important to understand. So during dealing with the pathological cases, ask the patient right now what is happening with you. What do you feel right now with this condition? Okay. So once he is in a CRF, or she is in a cancer, or he is in a ascites, or he is in any kind of a pathological condition, you must need to ask him right now what is happening with you. क्या लग रहा है आपको अभी? ये बहुत जरूरी है understand. Once you can understand he is at emotion level, or he is at division level, or whatever, he is in fear or he is in anxiety, that there we can understand to how to give the uh, potency, or we can understand the posology. And the sixth, which is very important point, is sensation at every level. I mean to that we must need to understand sensation at physical level, mind level, and the system level. Okay, that is nothing but on the kingdom level. Once we get this kind of a synergy together, then you are damn sure about to selection the remedy, and your result will be increased more than 100%. I'm telling you. I'm just not telling you this is my personal experience. Is not continuous, my dear friends. Once I get attached with Shankar Ansar, I try to understand how we need to take a case as a whole. And once you take as a whole, then you are giving importance to all these three areas. You will definitely get the exact remedy. But it should be there. That synergy should be there. In few cases, there is no. You will not reach up to the sensation, but you can get most of the time. One more point I would like to mention here: at the sensation level, when patient is at sensation level, then sometimes you will not get also the pathological symptoms because he is at sensation. So we can consider the sensation. Okay. At the end, which is very important, the seventh point. Once you have a case, once you collected all the symptoms and you have all the understanding, always gives importance to the portrait of totality, or the portrait, or this pathological complete all the symptoms, and you can go through each and every of the case and understand, and then try to understand the exact meaning. Okay. So my dear friend, today I'm going to start you one beautiful case of ascites, and along with me, you also need to solve the case. So I will try to make you understand how can we go with these steps. Okay. So today we have a case of ascites. This was the condition of a patient. She was a baby girl. They came to me from Nanded. They were not able to travel from Nanded to Karanja by road, so that's why I called them at Washington, my friend's clinic, and that was her condition basically. Okay, so this is a case of 2 months baby girl. As I told that she was from Nanded, and she was crying day and night. She was like crying day and night due to the difficulty in respiration. So I have gone through all her reports and all that. She already went to the Hyderabad for her problems, and that Hyderabad doctor suggested like she might be having a tuberculosis, and then these conditions develop. But one thing, while inquiring in the case, looking in detailing, mother told me that she is weeping and asking for meat all the time, but mostly at the night. But doctor, her appetite is very good, but her weight is not gaining. That was the problem. And there was a ravenous appetite, and mostly at night. She tries the appetite. Mostly at midnight, she feel like hungry, and she's taking milk so much. So, in this condition, I try to understand the weakness and the process of the patient. But here, her strength was very, very good while sucking the milk. She was strongly sucking the milk. There was no any kind of a weakness while sucking. This is the only understanding of the strength the in the pediatric or infant cases. But though she was taking lot of milk, there was generalized weakness and emaciation mostly in the mostly in the lower limbs. Okay. Other than that, what mother told me, she told me that बहुत दूध पीती है रात को, लेकिन वेट नहीं बढ़ रहा है डॉक्टर साहब इसका. हाथ पैर देखो ना कितने बारीक है इसके. So that was a very important thing for me, and she was telling this thing again and again, again and again. डॉक्टर साहब दूध बहुत पीती है लेकिन हाथ पैर नहीं बढ़ रहे. डॉक्टर साहब दूध बहुत पीती है लेकिन हाथ नहीं बढ़ रहे. That was the only scenario in front of me. Okay. So now tell me how to approach this case. What can be the rubrics? What is your observation? And what can be the remedy from your side? You can put it in the chat box within 20 seconds only, as we have short time periods. But what I'm telling you, you must need go through all these 7 steps. Okay, try to understand, try to observe what is happening with her. Even with the photo, you can see that there is a nipple in her mouth. So how much hungry she was, nipple nikal diya, then she started crying. Okay. So how to approach? We'll tell you. So in this case, the first thing which is very, very important, I told you the first step: listen and observe. Listen and observe just the factual thing. Jo hai wo dekho. What is the chief complaint? What is the diagnosis? So in front of us, this is a patient of ascites in children, and there is difficulty in breathing. Okay. What is there in observation? There is a big bloated in the abdomen, bloated abdomen, and on the abdomen, if you observe properly, there are the blood vessels. Okay, along with the protrusion of umbilicus. Are you with me? So this is there, and along with that, what there is a emaciation and marasmus kind of a condition. Though she having a ravenous appetite, but the appetite mostly at night, and she was crying. But while doing the activities, she has a generalized weakness. Okay. Other than that, she has a dehydration, skin dry, and the shrinking of skin. And as we know that the etiology is about the tuberculosis, she might be developed this kind of a condition because of tuberculosis, and she already having a difficulty in breathing. Okay. So these are the only rubrics these are the only important points of the history we have. So how to go with this case? Okay. So whatever we have taken, these are only the factual things and our observation. Okay. So I try to understand the case. Then I went to this rubric: abdomen dropsy, ascites, respiratory with deep. Why she is weeping? She having a difficulty in breathing, but with ascites. Okay. Then there is a generalized weakness: abdomen dropsy, ascites weakness with. Okay. How this happens? This is because of she having a ravenous appetite with the marasmus also, and generalized emaciation appetite good children. These are the only 4 rubrics I go through. So what we understand here, we have seen the observation, we have gone through the diagnosis, we have gone through the exact associated symptoms. Okay. And the generalized weakness. Along with that, I went to the etiology about the tuberculosis. So in clinical, there is one rubric: tuberculosis stomach complaints. Okay. And also, if you go to the abdomen, you will get one particular rubric: abdomen dropsy, ascites, tuberculosis in. And this is the exact rubric that I was searching for with the etiology. Why this condition develops? This condition develops because of tuberculosis. Okay. And now see the beauty of our repertory. So now see the beauty of our Mater Medica. Isn't it very interesting? This is the exact rubric we have here. Along with the observation, you can see in this here the distension blood vessels. Okay, that is because of ascites. And there is the first remedy comes is abrotan. Okay, this is our observation, this is our etiology, this is the factual things, and this is the clinical symptoms and the observation and the fact. Okay, so in repertory, in second chart repertory, we have clinical tuberculosis stomach complaints in, abdomen enlarged children tuberculosis, abdomen enlarged children emaciation with, and the extremities emaciation lower limb children in. Then if you go to this chart, okay, Or if you go to this chart, you will get the same remedy is nothing but an abrotenone. Okay, my dear friends, I will tell you what is important in abrotenone also. There is nothing but a collection of exudation, pleurisy, and that exudative fluid collects only nothing but into the ascites. Okay, so then I went to the reference. Then I took the reference from the Boric, Matra Medica. The first line is given, a very useful remedy in the marasmus, especially for the lower extremities only. Yet with the good appetite. This is very, very important. Yet with the good appetite. Here is something which is really opposite. Though she is having a good appetite, but there is a marasmus. Another thing is there is a tuberculous peritonitis and the exudative. This is given. So her father was very, very brilliant, and he was very organized person. So after giving the single dose of abrotenone in water doses, he used to send me this kind of a chart every day. So now see that her abdominal girth, which was about 15 centimeter, that was reducing step by step, and at the end, he narrates here that baby staying awake and less problem while breathing, and baby was coughing, sleep more at night. Sleep was more at where previously she was not sleeping anywhere. But you know what happened? While dealing with these cases, there were many adverse by the relatives, and then that patient went to the again for the Hyderabad for the liver transplant, and then again she died. But the thing is that what is important for us, how we approach the case, how we give more importance to these our seven important points: the etiology, factual things, observation, and the diagnosis. Okay. So this is the case of ascites. Now I will go more deeper case. So this is a quite challenging case for us. Okay. So Guy, my dear friends, comatose cases. Comatose cases is a very challenging and crucial cases for us. And every homeopath must need to understand what is how to deal with this. You must need to understand how you have that kind of a potential to dealing with this kind of cases, and if we can good in this kind of a cases. Okay, so this is a coma. This is a case of coma with the pneumonia, and this was his condition when he was in ICU on 2018. So here it was his MRI report. MRI report told there is generalized cerebral atrophy on 23rd October 2018. So one of my friend from Dongao, he called me and he told me, Dr. Praveen, one of my patient is admitted in Akola and he's now in he was on ventilator and he's in coma right now. So I told him, चल आने दे देखते हैं, let's see, कुछ मजा करते हैं, कुछ होता है कुछ देखते हैं. So I told him, चल आने दे, let's try. So he told me that he was an 18 months boy and he was admitted in a hospital at Akola. But the thing is that I always try to understand the etiology, I always try to understand the codes, I always try to understand the journey, how the disease develops, how the pathology develops. So he told me that there was a cold and cough and the fever, and then he diagnosed with the pneumonia. Then he was admitted at local level hospital, and then at local level he developed with the high grade fever with 102 and 105, 103. Then he had a febrile convulsions, and then he went to the coma, and after that he shifted to the Akola in ICU. Then for 2 days again he got a high grade fever, and then he again went to the coma, and then now he's on ventilator. So he's all vital, vital sources was low. His SpO2 was low. He was like not responding anything. There was no hope. Doctor told that we have to wait and watch. What are the ready? That was critical time for even for me also, because these are the cases they comes to us at the last stage, and this becomes more challenging. Okay, and every human must need to accept all the challenges, whatever the condition. You have to go with the cases. So what happened? My friend Dr. Bishi always told me the journey is more important than the destination. And since then I understand, yeah, it's really important. Other than reaching up to the remedy, it's more important how you reach to the remedy, my dear friends. Okay. So remedy जरूरी नहीं है, और remedy तक हम लोग कैसे पहुंचे ये जरूरी है. What is happening in the next, the person who is going through for the remedy. It's necessary to understand the process. It's necessary to understand the cause and the cause of it. So what we understand here in this case, understand, look at here properly. What is important, that Bachu develops with the cold, cough, and the fever first. Then he develops with the pneumonia. Then the high grade fever, 102, 103. Then there is the low vitality. Then there is the convulsions. In the fever, he developed with the convulsions, and then he went to the coma. Okay, we can say the febrile coma or a delirium coma. We can talk like say like this. So in the coma, there was low vitality, saturation was reduced. There was no kind of proper oxygen level. And but as I told you, there was opening of his eyes into the coma. He was opening eyes and closing again. He was opening eyes and closing again. That was the only observation I can get in the video. What I got. Okay. So that was my exact observation. So मैं ये समझ गया था यहाँ पे I need a remedy which must having this course, this kind of course with the disease and the opening of eyes in the coma. Okay. So that was my observation. I give more importance here on the observation and the etiology also. Okay. So etiology also. So that was my observation. You can also see here in this photo, because we cannot share more videos here. So in observation, you can see his eyes are half open. He was opening eyes and the closing eyes. Okay. So what do you think? How can go with the case? Again, you have 20 minutes, my dear friends. Just put your understanding and the remedies here fast in the chat box. Dr. Yamini will go with it. Okay. So the time ends. So what was my understanding? This was our first understanding for the observation. Coma vigil. What is in the coma vigil? This is coma vigil is nothing but an coma unconsciousness opening eyes with. If you go to the complete repertory, but if you go to the Pathak repertory, you will get the coma vigil. This is nothing but an opening eyes. Coma with open eyes. Always understand. Remember vigil. This is a proper word for that. Okay, so there are 7 remedies. What else? Unconsciousness, insensible, fever during. So this is the course we develop with the fever, then the coma. But before that, what was there? Before that, there was a convulsions. Okay, fever, convulsions, and the coma. This was the journey. Fever, convulsions, and the coma. So once you go to the rubric convulsions during, then once you go into the chapter fever and convulsions, fever during, you will get a single remedies opium. My dear friends, what we are going to give here more importance. We are giving more emphasis on the observation first, and then we try to understand the course. Okay. So with this, we go to these 3 rubrics: Pathak repertory, convulsions, spasms, fever during, coma vigil, and unconsciousness, fever during. So here we got only one remedy, that is nothing but an opium. As we know that we have a very good remedy opium for this kind of condition. What else? How we understand in different way our observation in report in the patient is mind, unconsciousness, coma, open eyes with. Okay. So in Pathak repertory we have vigil. In complete repertory we have the mind, unconsciousness, open eyes with. And diagnosis: unconsciousness, coma, respiratory complaint. He had a pneumonia. Then PQRS, fever. This was our observation basically, that unconsciousness, coma, eye open eyes with, and unconsciousness, coma, respiratory complaints. Then our diagnosis: inflammation, lungs, pneumonia, children. So we have a remedy with opium, and after that, see what happens. So after remedy is not important. What I'm telling you here, we have to give more emphasis. Whatever the 7 points we have, we must need to think about it: observation, diagnosis, PQRS, also symptoms, and the clinical understanding. So after giving single dose of opium, then after 2 days his ventilator get off, and he opened his eyes and he was responding. He was only on oxygen. Then his all the vital organs or vital signs was completely okay, and he was doing well. So then I went to the Pathak Matra Medica to take a references what is given in opium. So in opium there is a complete stupefaction condition with the coma. There was complete turbidity, and there is a general sluggishness of functions and the lack of vital reaction. That was exactly with that patient. Okay, and once we have that exact rubric, the open eyes coma with the vigil coma, and all the on all the journey of the how the fever and then the convulsion and then the coma started. So this is the beauty of homeopathy, how he did. No? And see now, see the patient now. He was from the very poor family and he's doing well right now. He's completely okay. Isn't it interesting if you go through like this in a deep pathological cases also? So because there was no hope from the light science and we are giving them a ray of hope for them. This is quite interesting. So one thing very is important I would like to share with that you must need to go for these two books. You must need to take a references because these are the very important references we can go through for the selection the remedy and for the understanding of the mater medica too. After these two books, I always used to go for the Farrington Clinical Mater Medica and also for the Farrington Comparative Mater Medica. Here you will get the exact clinical understanding with the condition of the patient or with the condition of the pathological disease. Another, we have one interesting case, another interesting case of ascites. Okay, so this is also a case of ascites. Uh, ये case काफी interesting है, you know. I just got called at morning 5:30 a.m. and they called me, doctor, हमारा बच्चा बहुत रो रहा है, you know. So that boy was completely crying since night, and parents like asking me the counter question, can you manage it? Can you do something for it? Because we just wanted to stop his cry because since last night he was crying continuously. That was they having more pressure on that. So I went there at 6:30. I visited their at their home 6:30, and I saw a 4 months old boy was suffering with the ascites. There was also bloated abdomen, a big abdomen, and the abdominal girth was 45 centimeter. Okay, and he was crying and crying, nothing like anything. He was crying, and there was bloated abdomen. Again, with the bloated abdomen, he had like difficulty in respiration. But one thing, what I noticed as I visited to his home, his room, he already passes the stool. He passed the stool, and there was very offensive smell into the room. Even though I was not able to talk to his mother or to the parents, and when I noticed the stool, I found that there is a greenish dark color stool. And father told he was passing this stool since last night. 4-5 बार उसने संडास पास किया है. एंड मदर टोल्ड बच्चा तब तक रोता है ना डॉक्टर साहब जब तक उसको हम साफ नहीं करते तो पोटी को हम साफ नहीं करते. दैट टाइम ही वाज crying. So I gone his previous history. They told me that he had this condition since last 2 months, and they did tapping for 15 times in 2 months, but there was no any kind of a good result with this. What I noticed that they told me he has difficulty in respiration when they put it on the ground, and there was tightness of abdomen. Once they put it on the lying position, he started crying. He get difficulty in breathing. So all the time they put him on a shoulder, like this, or keep on like upline position, propped up position, we can say. So I asked him the history. They told he had a fever, and then there was pain in abdomen, and then doctor advised go for a USG, and they diagnosed with the minimum ascites. At the beginning time there was a minimum ascites, and then they went to the Aurangabad and they had undergone with the MRI, and in MRI there was suspected lymphatic obstruction. So I am giving more importance here in red lines, lymphatic obstruction. Here also we can get a cause why these ascites happened. These ascites happened because of lymphatic obstruction. In the previous case, ascites happened because of tuberculosis. So why I'm telling you here again, because you must need to understand the etiology behind the pathology. You must need to understand the cause behind the pathology, which is very important. Okay. Then he was admitted in Hinduja Hospital, Mumbai. He was there for 15 days, but doctor told there is no any chance right now. We just cannot do anything. You just take him to the home, and they was waiting for his death. Okay, that was the exact condition. Okay, but what I noticed when I went to his room, he already passed the stool. You can see in picture there greenish stool, and which was very offensive. Simultaneously, you can observe that he already hold his ear tightly. No, बच्चे का कान उसने पकड़ के से यहाँ तक खींच के रखा था, and he was crying with this. He was like crying with this, and I asked the mother कि क्या होता है, why he is like crying, doing this. So mother told डॉक्टर साहब उसको जब भी उसको तकलीफ होता है ना, whenever he having difficulty in breathing and he's crying, he holds something, he hold nearby blankets, or during pain he hold mother's finger like this tightly. That was his gesture. This is his action, the gesture. He was gesture and he was crying. That was continuously cry, screaming with that. And this was his action, and that was my exact observation. कि, oh, ये कुछ to be important. This is very very important for me. So then I try to understand the whole case, right? Okay. What I understand here, our first thing which is PQR is for us observation, holding held desire for. But when? While crying or during pain, we can say. The diagnosis is ascites. What is the etiology? Suspected, there was not consumption, but suspected of intestinal lymphatic ulcers. Then symptoms with the difficulty in breathing, modality, lying down, and emulation by holding. Mental complaint with the complaints that crying and weeping pain with. And the senses, what I sensed while entering into the room, there was a very very bad and offensive smell to the stool, and the stool is like greenish. Okay, that smell was very very bad. I just was not able to talk to her mother. Then again, my dear friends, you have to solve this case again. Already, I have given you all the data and all the important points. What can be the remedy? Okay, so I will tell you how I reach to the remedy. So what is the sure point in observation? We know that this is the sure point. Holding being held desire for pain from. Okay, so he had a bloating abdomen, he had ascites, he had difficulty, and he was continuously crying with the pain due to the that bloating of ascites. And then see, in observation we give more importance here in observation, the holding or being held desire for the pains from, and we have a single remedy, arsenic. Now we need to understand, is there arsenic in other areas also, like in clinical understanding, like in diagnosis, like in modalities and the mental levels. See, so I try to understand this case from different areas. Now here we have a diagnosis: abdomen dropsy, ascites, liver complaint seen, stool offensive, foul portrait, stool greenish dark. This is our observation. Modality is about respiration, lying aggression back on. Okay, that as we put him on a bag, he was getting difficulty respiration, he was crying. And in the mind we have exact now hold being held desire for, and now we have the exact PQRS observation, that mind holding or being held desire for pains from. Now see the what comes up. Here we have arsenic, and everybody knows that how the arsenic works very well in ascites. Other remedies like apocyanum, then China, then different remedies we have. But as you know that, as I would like to tell you here, in ascites also, I have many cases with the cirrhosis of liver, and then the ascites, mostly in the alcoholic patients. So I have treated many cases with muriatic acid, then fluoric acid, then along with the hyoscyamus also. So what exactly with the muriatic acids? Okay, well let me finish with this. Also in the reference work we have ascites, lymphatic obstruction, and this is my reference for, you can see here. So after giving him arsenic album, within a 15 days without tapping, within a 15 days, we consulted him on 29th of September 2011, and after 16 days or 15 days he was like this. He after giving medicine, he started with loose motion, greenish watery stool started, and all the fluid in the ascitic, exudative fluid where what was in his abdomen, all came out from in the stool, and then everything was well. And after 15 days he was like this. So after that, after 1 year also, he was doing very well. He put on weight, he's playing, he's doing mischievous things with his sister and all that. He did very very good with this medicine. But we have we came across many cases of ascites. Mostly in society we have ascitic patients with the alcoholism. So I would like to tell you, muriatic acid and the fluoric acid, along like acid also, in the arsenic also, very well good results in the alcoholic ascites. So mostly I try to understand the muriatic acid and the fluoric acid. Muriatic acid, what is the muriatic acid exactly? This remedy prepared from the HCl, hydrochloric acid. And what happened in alcoholic patients, they used to on starvation, they used to on fasting, and they just used to drink. So with empty stomach of drinking, there are a lot of secretion of HCl, and this HCl is going to harm you. and then there is a disturbance in bile duct and the lymphatic liver liver bile duct, and there is a stolons, and then the acid is formed because of cirrhosis. Okay, so the muriatic acid having a very good results into that. Before that, I would like to tell you, most of the time the alcoholic patient comes to me and they complain only, doctor sir, I have severe burning, I have severe burning from here to the rectum. Whenever I used to pass the stool, there is a just watery stool and severe burning, severe burning. Patient talks you only about the burning from here to rectum, from here to rectum. This can be a before stage of muriatic acid, and one of the best remedy we have in Materia Medica is uh, Iris V. Iris V is the one of the best remedy where we can act. One remedy which is not given in cirrhosis or ascites with the liver complaints or ascites with the alcoholic drunkards is hyoscyamus. But hyoscyamus also having a very good action on the stomach toxicity. Once you go in the once you go in a doctor's signature or about the toxicity of hyoscyamus or strychnine, you can understand how that person become more habitual to alcohol and the stimulants, and he was on empty stomachs, and then is the gastric disturbances and the ulcers and the toxicity in the stomach, and then the black tongue. So though the hyoscyamus is not given in the Materia Medica or in the repertory chart, but this is my clinical experience that hyoscyamus also having very good results in ascites, especially the alcoholic drunkards. Okay, so we need to come on the point. We have to one more interesting case with a case of unhealed ulcer. Okay, so why I'm telling you this unhealed ulcer, because this case was misdiagnosed with the venous ulcer. Some doctors told by alive people, they told that this is a case of gangrene. Somebody told me this is a case of venous ulcer. Somebody told that it's an unhealed ulcer. But you know after inquiring in detailing with the clinical symptoms, then I understand why this happened. So here we can understand what is the importance of etiology and what is the importance of cause. Okay, the patient already have a diabetes, patient already is a thyroid problem, he's a hypertensive, his weight was 102 109, he was obese, you know he was many more problems, and into that he had that ulcer. So that's the many doctors told that it can be a gangrene, it can be a diabetic ulcer, and many diagnosis was there. But let's see what is the happening in the case. So this was a recent case of 2017. The summary was the presenting complaint. So what happened in rural area, people will not come with the appointment, they directly come to your cabin. उनको appointment समझता ही नहीं है, they come directly to you. So this patient come to directly enter in the cabin, and he was like he was in a agony, he was in a very very much pain, and he was continuously one thing, doctor sahab बहुत जलन हो रहा है, doctor sahab बहुत जलन हो रहा है, कुछ करो. And while talking with this, he was like doing these things. He was rubbing continuously around that leg. He was continuously rubbing it around that ulcer, and that was only the observation. I asked him in detail, what happened, कब से चालू हुआ, what happened. So he told me this was an accident in 2011, 6 years back, and then there was a burnt injury to my legs due to the bike silencer, and since then it was very very difficult to heal, and now it turns to the ulcer. So even at night there was a severe burning in my legs, and I was not able to sleep. And many of doctors suggest him to go for amputation because he already having a diabetes, then venous ulcer and blah blah, many diagnoses. So he was at the age of amputation. But though he was a worker, he having his own vegetable business. He's moving around the town with taking his vegetable gadi, So he has to do with daily routine works. So I asked this, tell me the burning, क्या हो रहा है, कैसे जलन हो रहा है. So he told me, doctor sir, अरे बाप रे, ऐसा लग रहा है कि किसी ने वहाँ पे मिर्ची का पाउडर डाल दिया. So he had this specific sensation in the burning, more peculiar into the burning. So as we know, the burning is a very general symptoms, and if you go more deeper, then there is a specific peculiar pepper powder kind of a burning into that injury. And he was not unable to walk and unable to touch. As soon as we touch into that ulcer, there was severe burning pain again. So he told me most of the time I used to work at the daytime, and at night I have a severe burning pain. I was not able to walk properly, and there was aggravation by touch. And emulsion, what I understand, is only by the rubbing around the wound, around that ulcer. But in this case, there is no kind of offensive things. what I used to do in my clinic? I used to, smell the ulcers. I used to smell the abscess. I used to try to understand what is happening in the injury. So this was his follow-up transcript. We just cannot play the video. He was narrating exact things, whatever we have seen in the, previous slide. So I would like to go ahead. So in this, again we understand at the exact process. कब से चालू हुआ? Though he come with the severe burning problem, though he come with the only the acute condition of burning, but we must need to understand how it start, when it start, how he feels right now, what makes it better and worse, and what is experience in this condition, right? This was my understanding. So as we understand the case, I don't want to ask you again because we have a lack of time. We will go directly. The etiology is burn, and that burn is from since last 6 years. That burn is old, and what we notice after the burning by this, burned by this silencer, it was difficult to heal. And the diagnosis is ulcer due to the burn, not a venous ulcer, not a gangrene, not a not a, any kind of a gangrenous condition due to diabetes. It's just because of etiology, just because of the burn. What is my observation into the ulcer? There is a thin watery discharge from the ulcer, but no offensive smell, my dear friends, but no offensive smell. The emulsion is by rubbing, aggression by touch, night walking, and the burning pain emulsion by rubbing by hand only. So we have a PQRS, that is his clinical condition, that is his pathological condition. What is the condition? That the burn is failed to heal and the ill effects, because he had gone under many medicaments, many kind of treatment. And here we have the 5 remedies: arsenic, cantharis, carbolic acid, caustic and nitric acid. What do you think? What can be the remedy? Okay, so let's go ahead. So then I went to the repertorial chart. I try to understand the exact totality through our these steps. And here we know the diagnosis is ulcer, and the etiology is skin fail healed to ulcer, and that was a burned ulcer. Another his condition, the ulcer was old. In modality, as we know that the pain mostly at night, that is a burning pain, and pain mostly on touch, and the pain as if burning, smarting, pepper as from. This is very peculiar, pepper as from. Okay, so in observation we can see that the ulcer there is a discharging, suppurating, watery. So we have a remedy: causticum and arsenic and mug salt. So this time we must need to go 2 books: Boric Mater Medica and the Pathak Mater Medica. So then I went to the the references. I took the reference, and then I understand the causticum from the Pathak Mater Medica, and there I understand the exact line: ill effects of burns and the scars and the fright and the grief. Because most of the Merxol and arsenic and carbolic acid having a discharge with the offensive smell, but here we don't have offensiveness. So arsenic, Merxol, and muriatic, that carbolic acid goes away. Now we have only 2 remedies: causticum and that. So now here you can also understand ulcers maltreated with lead. Ulcers maltreated with lead means ulcers which are maltreated with the different medicaments, and that was already happened with the case. Okay, so after giving causticum 200, he was completely better just within a 1 month. So he came to us on 15th of June, and see on 19th of July he was completely better. And as we know that Hering's law cure from within outward, from the reverse mode condition. Now see the in picture 1, picture 2, picture 3, and picture 4, how the skin get healed. But this is my nature. I used to ask myself why I got these results. Because see, in my mind there are 2 doctors. One is homeopathic doctor and other is allied doctor, Ayurvedic doctor. As I learned many things from allied science, so I try to understand, yeah, ऐसा कैसा हो गया यार, burning cases में इतना जल्दी result कैसे आएगा, so then I went to try to understand ये कैसा हुआ. So even after the July in 2018, in January, his legs was better. There was no condition, there was no any kind of a problem, and he was like smiling face. So then I try to understand what is happening in causticum. Causticum is nothing but potassium carbonate or potash from the row 4. And in the blood test, there was a potassium deficiency. What happened potassium? What is it given in the row 4? The row 4, there is a problem with the, muscles, bone, connective tissues, mucous membrane or the skin. Along with that, his daily routine things. He was a vegetable businessman. He used to go for his daily routine work. and he was not bothering about about his problem. He was bothering about his business only. That was the condition. So what I'm telling you, this is something else from our Matra Medica to understand why we got this result. Okay, once we give you the causticum, nothing but a potassium, and that potassium does very well his osmosis regulation. This is osmosis and diffusion, because this ulcer was not deeper. His ulcer was only at superficial level, and there was not getting healing his mucous membrane. And once the osmosis regulation get balanced, his injury get healed. That is the understanding. So you must need to understand this level also. You can also go through like this. If we have a potassium deficiency, what is the problem we will get muscle pain, we will get fatigue, we will get cramps in the muscles, we will get weakness. And to whom this get? The daily worker, daily hard working people. So we can also understand why our causticum gives a good results in this case. So this is the beauty of homeopathy. Isn't it interesting? It's really interesting, but we must need to go like this. We must need to understand the cases pathological like this. As you told that why muriatic acid having more studies in alcoholic patients, because hydrochloric acid can harm you, and it can be develop the stomach ulcer, the stomach cancer, or also the ascites. Like here in causticum also give the good results. That's it. So what Dr. Shankaran sir always used to told us, in case again first 10 minutes is very important, especially for the cheap complaint, and we must need to investigate cheap complaint at symptom and the system part both. Sir told always used to think of factual things के बारे में सोचो, where you will get the at local level. Once you will get the factual things at local level, there must be a local sensation. You will get the PQRS rubric exactly, PQRS symptoms exactly, which will lead you to select the remedy. Okay. So these are the understandings. So just on the burning, now on this burning pain, I just remember my interesting case. Just before in last week, I had one case of acute demyelination. I'm just telling a short case because cases is the only best learning for us. So you will get theory in organon, and you will get more knowledge about theoretical in organon everywhere. But I learned mostly from the case, and I would like to share the cases and cases and cases. So this was the cases of acute demyelination. This was he was a boy of 18 or 17 years old. He came to me only with the burning. So he told me, doctor, I have a burning all over the body, and he told me that I had developed the demyelination condition since last 4 years, and since last 4 years I developing this burning. But he came with me with severe burning. कल रात से मेरे को बहुत burning हो रहा है डॉक्टर साहब. Then I try to understand what is the condition in acute demyelination. So what is happening in demyelination? There is nothing but the degeneration at the myelin sheath. There is a problem at the synaptic level. There is a problem at the neurotransmitter. There is nothing but a degeneration, destruction at the myelin level. So ultimately, there is no neurotransmitter kind of a condition properly. There is a problems in neurons. There is a problems in axons and dendrons and all that. So this burning is nothing but a neuralgia. This burning is not like a burning where we got in the skin level. This burning is neuralgic burning. This is a neuralgic pain. Okay, and this burning is all over the body. Along with this, while going in detailing the case, through and through with this burning, he had anger, he had destruction, he was like threatening to all, he was like fighting with all, he was like poking others, he was like making jesting, he was talking in the killing, he loved dancing, he loves music. There is a cruelty, there is a me versus you kind of things in whole history. I just could not narrate the whole detailed case, but the I can understand the theme and all the system part was on animal kingdom, especially the first spider. So as we know that in spider we have a very beautiful remedy, which tarantula. Now which tarantula is this? Tarantula hispanica, Tarantula cubans, or else tarantula? Did the tarantula having this kind of a toxic condition with the venoms like burning? Did the is the tarantula having this kind of a demyelination condition? We need to think of it. So I have all the mentals, I have all the modalities, but I was searching for very particular, which is for the diagnosis. What is his diagnosis? His diagnosis is that acute demyelination. And I was searching for, I must need to get the rubric for this only, this neurological condition where the demyelination is given. So I went to the rubric, and one more thing, not only the nerve, we must need to have this condition all over the body. This is a general rubric. Into the general, we need a peculiar. In general, neuralgia and the nerves with the burning. Okay. So I went to the repertory and I understand what is happening. So in generalities, there is a pain, neuralgic synalgia. Okay. So this was the exact rubric for what I was searching. This was the exact clinical condition for him. So he having this kind of a burning only because of neuralgic pain due to the demyelination. Are you with me? So that is the word nothing but an synalgia, and synalgia is nothing but happening only the sympathetic neuralgia. Here there is a problem in the sympathetic nervous system. There is a synalgia. If you have, like, if as an example, I would like to tell you, if you have a scorpion bite on your finger, you will get the burning sensation all over the body. That is nothing but a synalgia. If you have a honeybee on the eye, then you will get the burning sensation all over the face or all over the body. That is nothing but a near synalgia. And then I was damn sure about my remedy, that my remedy must be a tarantula. After giving tarantula, he called me after 2 days and he told me, doctor, I am getting better, mostly more than 50%. Okay. So my dear friends, what I mean to tell you, you just cannot leave anything away. You have to go more and more deeper. You have to understand the factual things. Give more importance to that. Don't left anything away. Take a totality. Understand, though you understand the animal kingdom and the spider, but try to understand with tarantula. Tarantula pubens having more action on the tissue level, not on the nerve level, but tarantula hispanica having more action on the nerve level. Okay. Even the tarantula having the nerve toxicity, and people can die, people can get paralysis. These are the conditions with the burning pain. So now move ahead with the case of another case of coma. This is also very interesting case, and this is a learning case for me, and that's why I would like to share with my understanding and my learning to you also, because you can also learn many more from this case. Okay. So this is the case. We have 7 minutes. I will try to do it fast. So this is a case of coma with the pulmonary embolism. So what was the condition? One of my assistants, she was working with me, Dr. Ashwini, and now right now she's working in Dhruvi Clinic, Pune. So she called me, sir, my grandmother had a surgery for DVT yesterday night, and since then she was in coma. Doctor said that she develops a embolism, pulmonary embolism 9, and now she's in coma. And doctor told me that we have to wait for 48 hours. And then I used to call, I used to tell them, just send me the video. So I got the video at 5 p.m. and I saw that the patient was in coma. There is a respiratory distress, saturation was 60 to 64, very, very low, and it was fluctuating. And the pulse was feeble, 68. There was no response by the patient. Patient was completely in comatose. There was nothing to observe. The patient mildly reacting to the peoples, and there was no urinary output since morning. It was completely gone case. It was completely gone case, my dear friends. So what I understand here, so I asked her some history. They told me that patient was already gone under the bypass surgery because of heart complaints, and she was anxious just before the surgery. She was talking, "Mere saath chalo, you can just be with me in the surgery," but doctor never allowed. In the diagnosis, she was in coma. In causes, pulmonary embolism due to surgery. In observation, there was low vitality, low pulse, and low SpO2 and mind. Anxiety before the surgery. That was the only understanding we have. Okay, so what to do? How to go? Just we know, understand the embolism. What happened in embolism? How the embolism formed because of surgery? There was a surgery for DVT, deep venous thrombosis. They try to do the dilatation or for the stent into the that artery, and then the embolar form. That clot gets enlarged into the pulmonary vascular function, vascular capillaries or circulation, and then she develops with the coma, distress, respiratory slow respiration, the lung affection, and the oxygen low, then the pulse low. What to give, my dear friends? As we know that, what is the last medicine we used to give for the patient when there is a life and death condition? This is nothing but a life-saving medicine for us. That is nothing but a Carbovage. Am I right? Every homeopath know about the Carbovage. So in CarboVeg, I went to the CarboVeg and tried to understand what is CarboVeg. There is given that this integration and the imperfect oxidation is the keynote of this remedy. It was perfectly matching with the remedy. Also given that the blood seems to be strange stagnant in the capillaries. It was also there, you know. Then maybe the loss maybe almost lifeless, but the head is hot and the coldest breath to pulse. So it was not there. I asked him again. This was a condition given in CarboVeg, in the Boric Mater Medica. But now see the beauty. I don't know you know or no you don't know. There is also another remedy we can give at the last time of the life to the patients. Once there is a lung affection, once there is a lung infection. So see, in Boric Mater Medica, go to the relationships. What is given? They are given complementary Kalicarb and Drosera. Then I try to understand Kalicarb. Okay, what is given into that? There is given in the relationships in Boric CarboVeg. Lowness of vitality must suggest a preliminary course of carbo to the nurse of the recuperation to the point that Kalicarb, okay, would come in helpfully. So here, when there is a lung infection, okay, also the Farrington said, where there is a lung infection, okay, there is a particularly lung problem, as we know that Kalicarb having a very good action on the interstitial lung diseases, you know, lung problem, the Kalicarb act very well. So as I understand, this is a pathological condition. This condition developed because of embolism, and that embolism get enlarged into the lungs, and into the lungs there is a inflammation, and there is the problem with the respiration. You know, so what happened in CarboVeg, there is a hemorrhagic diathesis. This condition develops because of lot of hemorrhage, and here there was not hemorrhage. There was a due to the lung problem. After giving the Kalicarb 1M, okay. I just got the video at 5 p.m. after giving the Kalicarb 1M 1 hourly in dilution. After 6 hours at 11:37 p.m. her saturation increased. It becomes 81 and pulse was like 129. Okay, so we must need to understand what is happening here. Once she develops the urinary output and everything was better. Okay, after that, to the next day at 12:54 p.m. she opened his eyes and she was responding to the voice. She was seeing here and there. She was going there, and till morning pulse was 110 and the saturation was 93%. It was completely up to the normal. Okay, so what after to the next day? After next day, her her ventilator get off and she was only on oxygen, and she started eating. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting? The same thing, if you go to understand the respiration at the lung level, there is a surfactant, and there is also the helpful of the potash, carbonate of potash. Okay, and that carbonate of potash is nothing but a charcoal, chemical charcoal. Carbonate of potash and Kalicarb are the same. Both are the same. They both have the same content. One is under the earth, and one is in a periodic table. You know. So this is the beauty of homeopathy. And at last, what that doctor, my assistant, Dr. Ashwini, saying me, thank you, sir. It's all recovery happened because of you. I told her, no. Homeopathy is great, not me. I just giving my best. So as you know that everybody must need to give their best, but you need to understand, follow these steps. As we have only 1 minute, I would like to go directly jump on the conclusion part, and that is nothing but and these steps. Okay. So try to understand, follow these steps, give the importance to each and everything. Listening, observe, etiology, cause, diagnosis, modality, current mental state, sensation, the acute condition or a pathologic condition. Give importance to all of this. You will must go to the exact remedy. My mentor, Dr. Sudhir Bhattacharya sir, last week he sent me this, very beautiful quote. When we stop learning, we stop growing. So let humble be teachable and always keep learning from everyone. This must need to follow everyone. Okay, and this is the beauty of how to deal with the pathologic cases with this. If you follow this 7 step. Thank you so much, friends, and you can write down your comments and your feedback on me. I'm always ready to help you. If you have any kind of pathological case, any kind of a case, we all can solve the case. You note down my number, you note down my email ID. Thank you so much for listening me. As we have lack of time, we have just covered only 4 cases. you have many cases. And thank you so much, Dr. Yamini.
So we are
So
very thankful to you for spending this time with us, and they were beautiful cases. We have learned a lot.
yeah,
Thank you.
I have to say thankful to you because you give this opportunity for for these beautiful
It's a
people
pleasure.
and all the respected doctors and all their homeopaths, some young buddies, some are practitioners. The thing is that the message from my side, how to deal with the this is more important. I hope I can reach them. I could reach them, and it's
Yes,
helpful for them in their clinical practice. Thank you so much, Asha,
definitely. That
from with the
it will.
academy, and you, yeah, you and Vaibhav, Dr. Vaibhav, and all. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. It's such a pleasure, and definitely it was very motivating to see whenever we see, for homeopaths, they always feel that pathological cases are very, very challenging. But for
Yes,
homeopaths, case is a case, whether it is pathological
case is
or,
the case. Yeah.
so if we get motivation of dealing such cases also.
Yeah.
Students के लिए बहुत बहुत important होता है. So thank you so much.
Every yes, thank you so much. Just last message to all dear ones who are here: never say no to any case. Always say to yes.
Yes, that's a great advice.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
nice
Bye
time.
bye. Bye
Thanks a
bye.
lot to everyone
Thanks.
for joining.
Yeah.
Bye bye.